Come on now. Now, I know y'all don't know what this is, but first things first, God did this. Don't get mad with us. I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. We got the legacy maker himself, Mr. Exclusive. And we got the one man and the only man that's going to check you into the Heartbreak Hotel, and that's the Heartbreak Prince himself. Okay.
Yeah, just a little
By the
mini
way,
one.
Just a little one.
by the way,
Just a little one.
hey, look, by the way, Drew, hey, you killed it with that one, boy.
Drew,
That
that
beat
beat.
was on fire.
My man is out here giving the people the
Caliente.
best.
We talk about Harlem Heat when that
Let
beat.
me tell you
man, I was
something.
like, getting silly with it.
We're talking about a person who is a key figure about this podcast and somebody who's behind the scenes but deserves his flowers. It's our man Drew. Shout out to
Drew.
Shout out to you,
Shout out to Drew. Thank you, Drew.
Hey, look, y'all. Now, look, this is a very new segment that we told y'all about last night on Night Town. And this is very special. The reason why, because somebody that we've been talking about since we started this podcast, somebody that supported their son all the way from the beginning to what he's doing now. Okay, this is very big, very, very big. Okay, this is the OG to the young OG. Okay, this man has been, when you talk about somebody that really supports, really is right there for their son, somebody that's there through the end to really sit there and support. This is a pure and a great example of that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and introduce Robert Antonio, also known as Big Rob the photographer. Okay, the OG. Ah!
That was good. That was good.
He's in the building. Yeah, I wish I had the clip.
How y'all doing?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Thank you. Thank you so much for doing this with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Look, look, man. I'm so glad we got you on here with us today. Just talk about a few things about the journey. You know what I'm saying? Just how everything came about. I mean, first thing though, before Javon, well, before Javon was even Javon, were you even like a wrestling fan growing up? That's the first question I gotta ask.
I actually was, truth be told. I was born in '76, so I grew up in the '80s, and the '90s, and back then it wasn't WWE, it was WWF, and we had guys like Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat,
Ricky.
the Junkyard Dog. It's a few Iron Sheik, and what's ironic about this is that when I was younger, my favorite wrestler was Jimmy Superfly Snuka. And I don't think I ever really told my son that. But if you know anything about Jimmy Superfly Snuka, he was very well known and infamous for jumping off that top rope and doing something crazy, splashing down. It was like the top rope was his, So so I was absolutely a fan of wrestling when I was younger.
Yeah.
So what got you and your son into wrestling? Like when did that like start to happen for y'all?
So my best friend, one of my best friends, he tells me this thing was in his blood since conception. I'll explain why. Around the time when I met his mother, we were both heavy wrestling fans and big time wrestling fans. And so now you're fast forwarding. This is around the time of The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh yeah.
Triple H, who is now my son's boss. So this is around this area, Shawn Michaels. And when I decided to propose to her, I proposed to her back in the day. There was a WWE restaurant in the middle of Times Square.
I remember that.
So remember that.
I remember
Yes.
that.
Wow.
They opened it. Yeah.
And yep. And so I had called ahead and said, hey, listen, because I knew she was a huge wrestling fan. I was like, yeah, I want to propose to my girlfriend there. And so I called ahead, set it up. She thought she was just going for dinner and just to, and I proposed to her, I think in front of, was it Scotty Too Hottie? It was one of them that used to
Hey,
Turn it up.
go. Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was one of them. But and then so that happened before Malachi, before Javon was even thought of, and and then as a child, wrestling was just something we just always watched together, and when they would come into town, I would take him to the shows, and when they would come into Greensboro, it was normally like Raleigh or Charlotte. I can remember nights we would go out there. I would drive him out there to go see it, and it would end late. And like Charlotte, either one, Raleigh or Charlotte, is anywhere from like an hour to an hour and a half from Greensboro, depending on traffic. And I just wanted to get him out there to see it, And then on the way home, he'd be knocked out, and I'd be sitting there like,
Hey.
fighting sleep, trying not to crash into nobody. But
Life of a father.
Right. So the love, I think the love he grew up kind of with the love for the sport. I think just as entertainment. I don't think any of us at that point had any idea that it was going to become this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, with that being said, like, obviously you take him out on the road. You take him on to certain events and all that stuff. He starts to get the itch for it. He starts to, really enjoy it. When that starts to happen, how did that all come about? And then he had some very interesting names along the way. Black America, And so I'm trying to figure out how all of that kind of came together. He's had a couple of interesting names. Can you kind of give us a background into that and how it all came together for him?
So I give full credit to his mother for getting him enrolled into the wrestling school that he went to. By this time, he's like in his early teens. Me and his mother, we're no longer together. So, we're doing relatively well co-parenting. And, she told me that she had found a, kind of like it was a wrestling school. It's run by a gentleman named LeBron Cozone. Mad shout out to him. I'm very grateful for him. And it was kind of, at first, I guess, kind of something we looked at as, to just kind of keep him out of trouble, keep him from doing the wrong thing and running the streets and stuff like that. So when she told me that, she hadn't, enrolled him in something like that, I was like, oh, that's, that's cool. That's, I didn't really think much of it. And so, so Kid Black America, that was a funny, that's how he started. That was his first wrestling name. And he was supposed to be the son of another wrestler who was LeBron Cozone, his name was Black America. So my son was Kid Black America. And it went from there. And then he kind of started to develop his own wrestling style and reputation, and he was partnered with another amazing wrestler who I believe I think won the WWE Evolve.
Yes.
And that was I call him Jack, but Drake Jackson, I think that's his wrestling name now. And then they were the wrestling prodigies for a number of years. They were like a tag team, and he just grew from there, you know. And I remember, you know, when you're a parent, you want to put your kid in as many things just to kind of keep him busy and see what sticks. And I remember at one point, 'cause I know I tried to put him in football, or I think it was what was it, flag football. Tried to put him in football, and then he was doing basketball a little bit, and you know, it's like he's like, Dad, I want to play basketball. I was like, okay, you know, as a father, you want to be supportive. In the back of my head, I'm like,
come on.
What? You know what I'm saying? If you know, but I'm gonna support you, but you know. And I remember I used to go. Sometimes I would go pick him up from the wrestling school, Firestar Pro Wrestling in Greensboro, North Carolina. I would go pick him up, and I would watch him practice. I would watch him like run from just bouncing back and forth on the ropes. He would run to one side of the rope, fall in the middle of the mat, run to the other side, fall. Like this is all he was doing. And then I remember one day I watched him wrestle like an actual match. And I remember thinking to myself, like, oh, this little nigga's good. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, yo. It's like, hey, man,
like,
my man's got
you know what I'm
this.
saying? Like, I was like, oh, this ain't basketball. This is something else. This
That's great.
does this.
Yeah.
And after I saw that, I was like, all right. So I saw him being good at that, and I saw how much he loved it. So then it was just me just sewing into that. All right, well, keep it up, keep practicing, keep working hard. You're going to make it to the WWE. And I used to say that consistently all the time.
Oh,
prophecy.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's dope. Yeah.
Speaking into existence.
So one thing that you talked about when you were saying that, you know, you've seen him, you know, constantly on the ropes. Did you at one time ever see, like, you know, when you see him, you know, at that potential, did you ever see like possibly he could be doing exactly what he's doing now, you know, seeing how he's just going crazy? I mean, just doing these 450 splash and just these other, you know, crazy acrobatic moves. Did you ever see or imagine him doing that now at that time then?
No. Nope. He was just good. I just saw he was good. He was, you know, I didn't foresee him being, as he got older, maybe like in the last 2 years before he got signed, I noticed he was doing a lot of jumping off the top rope or jumping over the ropes, like out the middle of the ring, over the ropes.
Like, hey man, be careful.
Yeah. Oh man, this dude. I know there's a clip of it somewhere on YouTube. He wrestled. He put on a show at his school, where he went to high school at, and he jumped from. It was something ridiculous. I don't know what it was. Like, it wasn't attached to the ring. It was like he found his way up on top of something in the gym, on top of a ledge, and jumped onto like 5 guys. And I was just like, I was watching this like, okay,
this is crazy work.
He's doing too much now.
Yeah.
now he's doing too much. But you know, that has become his signature, like, you know, being bouncy,
Being
as he
bouncy.
says, jumping off the top rope, jumping out the middle of the ring, jumping off of stuff. Already know. We joke about it all the time. I'm like, I already know he's gonna have one of those steel cage matches where the cage is like 20, 30 feet, and he's gonna find a way to climb to the top and
Jump
jump
off that
And,
thing.
and give you a heart attack.
and give me a straight heart
just gonna
attack
close your eyes. You were like, you know what? Y'all
and
let me know when
pray.
it's over. You're
have a word of prayer while he's
Yeah.
wrestling. So, but yeah, man, that was, you know, go ahead. I'm
So
sorry.
I was gonna say, so watching this, you know, your son, you say you're picking up these practices, he's running the ropes, you watch him in a gymnasium, you see his first like wrestling match. What was the moment like where like you knew, or maybe even he knew, like a conversation, a match, a practice, the moment that you knew like this is what he wants to do, you know, this is what you know, his future, this is in his future.
I want to say when Arn Anderson took him up under his wing. I think that was it. Because I'll be honest, I didn't know who Arn Anderson was at the time, but my son was like very excited, and other people who knew who Arn Anderson was like, "Yo, this is big," you know.
Huge.
So I said, like, "All right, well, if it's big and my son is excited about it, you know." And then I was hearing how his name was getting around the wrestling circuit, so people were hearing about him. People was hearing who Jay Malachi was. That was his name at the time. People was hearing who Jay Malachi was, and people were coming to see him wrestle. And so that's kind of when I was like, "Oh, this is okay. All right."
And how old was he when this happened, when Arn took him in?
I want to say he was young. I want to say maybe like around 15, 16.
Wow.
That's phenomenal. That's
He was,
awesome.
he was young.
That's a big deal. That's a
Yeah.
big deal. 16, man.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. Look, I know as a father, you have to be proud of what you've seen your son do over this
Absolutely.
time frame. All the things he did in 2022, all the things he's, being breakout star in 2023. But how important was it to you to see, as a Black father, be able to be there for your son and see him grow the way he has grown into and the man that he's starting to become? How important is that for you? And you talked about how you guys were, you and your former wife were a great co-parent. And how important is it to be in his life to help him get to this point to where he is now?
I think, and kind of like you said, as a Black father, not just a father, but as a Black father, I think it's very important because if we're being totally honest, Black fathers don't really get a good rap.
It can be bad at times. It can be bad at times.
Very bad.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
bad,
Yeah.
So, and I would like to believe, me and my son have always had a close relationship. And so I always wanted to be supportive of anything that he did, because he was always supportive of anything that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so I didn't, like, I didn't, even before knowing that it was going to get here where it's at now, whatever my son would have chose to do, I would have been supportive of. As long as he's not out here doing nothing crazy and hurting anybody, I would have been supportive of, because I don't feel like there's enough young Black men who have that, and I think that is a message that all Black fathers need to need to express, need to show to other, to other people. I work with kids, and a lot of my students don't know who their father is at all.
Right.
And I've literally had students tell me, some of my students be like, "Yo, that's so cool the way you support your son."
Yeah. Yeah.
But we've always had that type of relationship to me. So it's not like I'm not supporting Javon Evans the way I am because he's Javon Evans.
Right.
If he was a circus clown,
right.
Yeah.
Telling him, "Yo, you want to be the best circus clown in there. You want to be the circus clown that everybody's coming back to see."
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I'm saying? Like,
This guy's amazing.
Yeah. Hey, yes, sir.
So whatever he would have done, I would have been supportive of, and I would have, and I would have tried to instill in him whatever it is you want to do, be the best at it.
Be the best at it.
Yeah,
My-
I think
my- My son, he used to, when he was little, and I tell him this all the time. I'm gonna say this as long as I'm alive. My son, when he was a kid, he used to be like, "Dad, when I grow up, I want to be just like you." And I was like, "Nope, I don't want you to be."
nah, you don't want that.
Yep. Yeah.
You good,
Go
man.
on a different path.
I don't want you to be just like me. I want you to be 100 times better than me. I want you to be better. And so, I mean, I wasn't making the money that he's making right now at 21. So
he's doing better then. He's doing better.
He's doing better. He's doing better.
Again. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Good job. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it is. I'm glad to hear, like, the words of encouragement. It just, harkens back to my dad being the same way. Whatever you're gonna do, be the best at it. And that's what he would always tell me, all of us, me, my two brothers and my sister. And so, that's something that stuck with me too. So it resonates when I hear you say that.
Yeah, it really feels good. My son he's 9 going on 10 next month. And so it's always been important to me to just have that great relationship with him and really show him, that there is a good side to being a Black father, because the rap is rough, like you said, and it's always nice to be able to have those relationships with him, spending that time with him, and like we can see just in the pictures that we have up here, the love that you guys share. You can see the energy there, and it's just so. Sometimes it's just unfortunate that people nowadays don't. We get the bad rap. So it's so good to see a father support their son thick and thin, no matter what the way you do, man. It's very commendable, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So one thing I know you talked about, you and Javon being close. Was there ever a time where like during his process of trying to get into the business of trying to wrestle, was there ever a time you felt like he just didn't feel like he might not be him, or he might not have it in him, or he might not want to do it anymore?
Nah, man. Like,
he's a young OG, baby.
That's a young OG, boy.
If he ever had that, I never saw it.
That's good.
I never saw it. He loves wrestling. He genuinely loves wrestling. And he has the character for it. The funny part is I'll calm down a lot. But when when my son does or says some crazy stuff in and out of the ring, everybody, I always get a text message or something like that.
Oh, that's you.
That's you.
That's you.
Yeah.
So, he has the character for it, and he gets to exercise that. He gets to be himself. Like, his charisma and all that, that's who he is. That's him. So he gets to be himself, and he gets to get paid for it. So I've never seen him where he felt down about what he was doing, or felt like giving up, or felt like, Dad, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I've never seen that side of him. Again, maybe it was there, but whenever I spoke to him, or whenever I talked to him, I always check in with him. Like, hey, you okay? How you feeling? Everything cool? Oh, I'm Dad. So do I need to beat anybody up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's always had a good attitude and a good vibe, and even like I've had to tell him, like, listen, I know you love what you do, and I'm glad you love what you do, but don't burn yourself out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's ever a time where you need to rest, or you need a break, or you feel like, take it. Just take it. Do what you got to do. You may need a mental rejuvenation, or you may need a physical. You may need a break for a minute. And I don't want him to get to the point to where he hates it. Right. I want him to always, because you hear so many people that are in entertainment saying, oh, they loved it until they got into this industry, and then the industry burnt them out or whatever.
Right.
So,
right.
As a parent, I still worry about that. But like I said, he's on go. He stays on go, and he feels good about it.
That's so awesome. we got a quick question in here from not Bland Show. He's a big supporter of ours. What's up, Bland? But he said, what advice do you have for young Black fathers?
Support your children. Just support them. Support them. Try to have as close of a relationship with your kids as possible. I feel like they're going to cherish certain things that you may not think is huge or important, but just be supportive. If even if you're not going to agree with everything your kids want to do, you know what I'm saying, but even if you run into that, you know what I'm saying, you can tell them with love. You don't have to be harsh about it, or too judgmental. But more than anything, make sure your kids know and feel that you love them and you support them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop into this question real quick because you brought it up. that the crazy stuff that Javon does in the ring. Being bouncy, and it comes from you. So, one of my favorite things and favorite matches that I've seen with Javon Evans, and I believe it was at Roadblock, but of course it's with Ethan Page, and I think those two have, just great chemistry in the ring together. The matches they put on are always A1 bangers. How do you feel about seeing your son? Because I specifically in that match, I remember the spot where they put the two chairs together. Ethan took him off the top rope, flung him over the shoulder, right onto the two chairs. It was an insane spot. As a father, how do you feel about when you watching something like that?
As a father who understands entertainment, you kind of accept that it's entertainment, and you kind of brush it off your shoulder. Or you try to, at least. Okay, it's just entertainment.
Yeah.
As a father,
no.
That's different. As a father, I wanted to beat Ethan's Page brains in. Because, it's like, you're hurting my baby now. You're hurting my baby boy. You know what I'm saying? So, and again, I remember that I remember the match because somebody called me and told me about it. And then I looked online and saw what happened, and I was trying to call my son, and he wouldn't pick up the phone. So I go from I tell my son this. This is the one match that made me have this conversation with my son. Like, listen, I'm a fan, but I'm a father first.
Right.
So
Right.
whatever you're going to do, keep that in mind. So next time you're going to do something crazy, let me know first.
Pre-warning, baby. Come on.
Yeah.
Please pre-warn me and your mom. Let us know first before we get ready to, before we strap up and we gas up the car. You know what I'm saying? Like, let us know. And I never forget, he said, when I finally got him on the phone, he was like, now I'm going out of my mind because I'm stressed out because I don't know if, okay, was this supposed to happen? Was this an accident? And I'm freaking out. I done cursed everybody out online. And like, if somebody from WWE don't call me in the next 30 minutes, I done threatened everybody in the WWE office online.
Yeah.
And so I call him. He finally answered the phone. He's like, "It looked good, right, Dad?" And he's smiling and laughing.
Hey,
like,
crazy work.
Look good.
I'm like, dude, don't you ever do that again in your life, man. It's one of those moments as a parent where you're happy they're okay.
Yeah.
But you're also mad. You know what I'm saying?
So,
you know, but I understand it's entertainment. And you know, he told me like him and Ethan. He told me him and Ethan are close. You know, they're good friends. And I mean, hey, listen, if whatever sells the story, makes the story better, or grows your fan base, you know, go for it. I'm with you. But if you're gonna do something crazy in that ring, where you may look like you're getting injured, please let me know ahead of time so I don't freak out.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, you know, do your thing in that ring, man. Like, you know, like I'm a parent first. I'm a fan, but I'm a father first. I'll push all that fan shit to the side. I'm dad. I'm dad first.
Yeah. So. and do you get a call from somebody like Ethan Page or get to talk to somebody like Ethan about
wish
being able to talk? Like,
Ethan Page
pick up the phone, Ethan.
I wish Ethan would call me. Please call me, Ethan. Let's talk, bro.
Show you the real ego. Come on.
Yeah,
you
see
what real ego look like.
Let's talk.
Yeah.
But, I haven't had a call from any of my son's coworkers. You know, that would be interesting.
That was so.
That'd be crazy work.
Let me ask you this: like, now has your son action figure come out yet? Have you? If it has, have you gotten one?
There are people who have created Javon Evans action figures. However, I don't think they have been sanctioned or written off by WWE, which is why you don't see one yet.
That's why you don't see them.
So there's people out there that you know can make them. You're probably gonna pay a couple $100 for it, but there's people out there who can, who definitely, you know. I've seen like I saw one really good one. My son had an action figure when he was like 16, 17 years old.
Oh man!
Wow.
Somebody,
Nice.
and this is what I'm saying. Like my son's fan base is so. He has fans that are so dedicated, or that love him so much. When he was Jay Malachi, before he was signed to WWE, somebody made an action figure of him. So. It's not out yet. I'm sure one is in the works. Yeah, I'm sure one's in the works.
Gotta be coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Though, when it does, I'll have one. I'll have a couple of them.
So, like the first time, you know, before he got signed to WWE, we know, you know, he had appearances on AEW. What was that like? Kind of seeing him on the first time, like on the screen, like seeing him, like, yo, this is my son. on
exciting.
TV right
It's
here.
exciting, you know. Yeah, it was just exciting. It was good. It was like just happy. You know what I'm saying? You're happy.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're seeing your son's dreams come into fruition.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm.
so yeah. Even on a small scale, even though it wasn't WWE yet, it was AEW. I was as excited for AEW as I was for WWE. So they were both exciting.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
Shoot. I mean, well, a lot of stuff we've seen Javon do. Is there any, besides, with Ethan Page, was there any match that you really love to see him in that you've seen him recently in WWE? Like, there was a match that you like, yo, this is probably one of my favorite matches I've watched you do.
Randy Orton. Randy Orton was my favorite match because, as I stated before, it was a surreal moment. It was a because the picture that went around, um, you know, that they promoted when they said that Javon Evans was going to fight Randy Orton, and he's holding a Randy Orton toy. um, that was a Christmas and I bought him the 3 set of the Miz, John Cena, because he was a huge John Cena fan growing up. It was John Cena, the Miz, and Randy Orton. And so the picture of him holding Randy Orton, and then to see it come full circle and see Randy Orton holding his hand up, that's my favorite. That's my favorite match up to now that he's had.
Has he had the chance to meet John Cena? Like have that moment with John Cena yet?
So he told me for Father's Day that he did meet him like recently.
Awesome.
He did get a chance to meet him. I don't know if he got to sit and kick it or whatever, but he did meet him.
Hey,
Hey, the last time is now.
Last time is it's like tell him to call him out right now. This is his chance. If he's going to fight him, this is the time
right now, right? Yeah. So
he can help out Ron Killings,
Yeah, that was cool. And I always ask him, I'm like, oh, did you meet this guy? Did you meet this guy yet? Did you meet? So yeah, so
cool.
so thus far he's met. Yeah, he's met one other person. I'm waiting for him to meet, to like shake hands with, and I'm not gonna tell you who that is yet because I think there's another question coming, and that's who I'm gonna say.
So, you being that you do photography, and you said like one of the things that you liked about what the WWE did when he had the match with Randy Orton was they used a picture that you took of him, back when he was younger. Do you get to take like the professional pictures of Javon?
I don't get to, not yet. I'm hoping one day. I would love to do that. That would be, as a photographer, all of the companies that I have worked with so far, and that's done assisting photo shoots on and stuff. That would be monumental for me to actually do a photo shoot of Javon Evans. But I believe that has to be cleared, with WWE. I did kind of create a show as a photographer, whereas I do like street interviews, and I hope to one day get him on there. It's a mix of street interviews and photography.
That's cool.
I hope to get him on there. It's It's called the booth, the photo booth, aka the booth. And should be able to find it on like YouTube and actually I found y'all y'all found me through TikTok. Also, shout out to everybody that I don't know what I think it was a Father's Day thing. I don't know, but whatever.
Hey, it's that clip. It's that
Yeah.
clip. That clip of you and him, that growth, man. Pause.
Yeah.
That was to see just the journey with you. That's what kind of popped up for me. I said, wait a minute.
Man,
Who is
listen,
this guy?
Friday night, I have been saying that Friday night, I had 900 followers on my TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And that clip had, I want to say 1,000 views. That was Friday. That was the Friday before Father's Day. When I woke up on Father's Day morning, I had 2,000 followers, and that clip had like 110,000 views. I was like,
Crazy.
Yeah, that was quick. Like that was quick.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
So,
crazy word.
so yeah, TikTok. If you follow anybody, thank you to everybody who followed me on TikTok and made that clip go, I guess, viral or whatever. But yeah, I would like to get him on my show at some point and just kind of interview him as my son.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. So
that'd be sweet.
If you follow me on TikTok, follow the.photobooth.tv. That's my TikTok channel for what I'm trying to do with photography and interviewing. So I would love to get him on there one day if WWE clears it. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, WWE.
Come on,
WWE. Hey, have a heart, WWE.
It seems pretty simple. It seems pretty simple. I don't know.
You got a father asking for a son.
What is this father going to do to put his son in danger? He's a great father. Like, what are we doing here?
So if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be graceful Javon Evans.
Exactly.
Hey, come on now.
Y'all will be without the bounce. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. Let me ask you this: as a fellow photographer, is there somebody outside your son that you would like for your show, one, or that special photo shoot that you could get with somebody, famous, whoever it may be? Is there somebody that you was like, man, I wish I could have that moment, that time frame with that person, for your show and just in general?
There's so many people. Here's the thing about the show that I just created, I put together. It's like what y'all are doing. I just do it on the street, and I do it from a photographer standpoint. Mm-hmm. So I'm talking to people. There are people out here that nobody knows that have amazing talents, whether it's they can sing, they can rap, maybe they're up and coming wrestlers, maybe, and what I'm doing is I'm talking to them, but I'm also taking pictures of them during our conversation. You know what I'm saying? So there's a bunch of people. There's so many people I would love to just take pictures of and talk to, and it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody famous. Mm-hmm. It could be like literally, I'm sure there's somebody out there walking around Miami, because ultimately my goal is to be able to do this in different cities. Mm-hmm. And, there's somebody somewhere who has an amazing story that nobody knows about. And I would just love to get them in front of my camera. One of the people like sitting here talking to you. I don't know if y'all know. I don't listen to too much of this new rap.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Second that. I'll second that.
I can't second that, but it's okay.
Jay-Z,
Luda.
Yeah,
You said Nas. You had me right there, Nas.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. I'm from that era, but there's this young lady out of New York named Scarlett.
Oh yeah, I seen her.
And one, she can rap. She can rap. But her story of growing up, like in the hood and the projects and what brought her here, and even how she got the scar on her lip is crazy. Like I would love to be able to sit down with her, talk with her, get pictures of her while we're talking. Like people like that got stories that nobody know about.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
How did you like come up with this concept, this idea? Like when did this come to you and what made you want to do it?
So I don't know if you know who Anthony Bourdain is.
I do.
Okay. So for those who don't know, Anthony Bourdain was this guy who he pretty much all he did was travel. All he did was travel and eat exotic foods and drink.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I know who you're talking about now.
He said he committed suicide.
He died. Yeah.
But I just love the way I love the way he would just travel to like foreign countries and cities and just talk to people.
Yeah.
And just had a film crew. People was filming him doing this.
Yeah.
And I always I love hearing people's stories.
Yeah.
And one of the things about me as a photographer, as I told you before, when I started photography, I wanted to do fashion. I was like, and I still enjoy doing fashion. I would still love to do fashion. But I had a love for photo documentary too, where your photography is telling a story about somebody or something. So when I used to watch Anthony Bourdain, I say, oh man, I want to do that from a photographer standpoint. And then I started maybe like a couple months ago, I did like my first one. I was like, I'm just go ahead and do it. But then the other thing I realized as a result of doing this, and I think it's kind of growing and forming its own, becoming its own entity. I want to bring back to the culture of just talking to people and getting to know people. We used to have, I mean, granted, we have all these podcasts and stuff now, but if we're talking amongst us, there's not many of us doing it for the culture anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
There's people doing it. It's not us.
Right.
So
they not like us.
They're
Right.
not like us.
So I kind of want to bring that. Back. We grew up with Rap City.
Yeah.
Rap City in the basement.
Raps.
Yeah.
I'm a little older, so Video Music Box. You know what I'm saying? We grew up with shows like this where we were doing the interviewing.
Yeah.
For up and coming artists and actors or whatever in our culture. And we don't have too much of that anymore. So that's what I want to bring back to the forefront. And like I said, I'm throwing a different twist on it. So it's not just, I'm not just filming the interview. I'm filming it, but I'm also taking pictures of the person that I'm talking to as we're talking. So I thought it was a cool idea. A lot of people think it's a cool idea. So
it is. It is. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see where this goes, like where this takes you, this journey takes you, especially when you talk about how you want to travel, like around the world and doing it, like the country. Doing it.
Like I want to go to, I want to go to certain areas. I've already put in my head, like I want to go to certain areas that people have misconceptions about. You know what I'm saying? Chicago, Los Angeles, because there's good people there. There's talent there. You know what I'm saying? It's not just gangbangers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm sure there's somebody with a crazy talent on O Block nobody knows about, but because you associate O Block with King Von and all this
Chief
crime.
Keef and all that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Chief Keef, and you know, so that's ultimately, you know, what I want to do with it.
It's a good deal.
You know, God willing.
Yeah, man. Man, this was really good, man. I really think we got something here. I think really just hearing you, OG, was just something great, and I think this was really inspiring for a lot of people, man. Like, I think a lot of people needed to hear something about this.
I hope so. I definitely want to double down on, you know, as Black fathers, we should definitely, they should see us in the forefront with our kids. You know what I'm saying? Being supportive of our kids' dreams, our kids' goals. You know, like I said, we got a bad rap. We got
yeah, man. We gotta fix it. We gotta fix it.
Yeah. So the more of us that are, you know, active and out here with our kids, and being supportive of their goals and their dreams, I think, you know, we'll start, you know, kind of
change the narrative a little bit.
Trying, man. We got to fight the good fight, y'all. We got to fight the good fight.
Yeah.
Get tired of being the butt of a joke, you know.
When
they
it
throw a little joke in there, I'm like, all right, now we ain't all bad. We ain't all bad.
No.
And I don't know if I missed the question or not, but one person that I would love to see. One person I would love to see my son wrestle is The Rock.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay.
The final boss.
Okay.
Jesus.
The final.
I would love.
That's some chills, boy.
I would love to see my son wrestle The Rock. That would, for me, that would be awesome.
That's insane. That would be amazing.
So, and just so everybody realize, I got a little carried away right before we came on, and I had to ask right away. I couldn't like, hey, who do you want to see your son wrestling? And he was like, ask me during the show.
yeah. He got so excited. I think I already said it. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
It would definitely be The Rock.
Yeah. That's dope. Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah. That's mad love on that. Yeah. I like to see it.
Man.
Yeah.
That's good, man. I'd love to see it too, man. I think honestly, Javon would definitely be the one to take over on the final boss, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie, you know.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, you know, not to say that the final boss ain't the final boss, but you know, when you come up against the young OG, the YN of WWE, I don't think you're gonna see nothing better than that, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That would definitely be a match.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, OG, honestly, I'm so grateful that we had you on here with us, man. We are just grateful and thankful that you were able to, you know, have some time to talk with us, and really just kind of break down the journey and just talk about everything that you were doing. And I think it was really important to you know, just kind of hear the story of how, you know, how important it was, how you was really in your son's life, how you was really always close with him, how you was really always supporting him throughout it all. And I think that was a big thing that a lot of people needed to hear. And I think this really inspired a lot of people, man.
Yeah.
Thank you,
sir.
Yeah. We appreciate it. Yeah. Definitely. I mean,
thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate you and Javon. You know, I know he doesn't know us from Candid Paint, but
that part
he entertains us. Yeah, you know, I mean, he entertains us, you know, and we appreciate that because as I've said before, and we talk about all the time, is, you know, it's just cool sometimes to just, you know, be able to come home from the realities of the world, turn on the television for a couple of hours and just be like entertained and just kind of take your mind off of things. And, you know, he's definitely one of those wrestlers that, you know, we as a group, as a podcast group, we talk about, we love to see in the ring, we love to see perform. And, you know, he's just grown, and we've talked about that, just his maturation, how quick it's been over the last year and a half. I mean, it was, you know, from when we first got introduced to him to where he is now, it's amazing. It's just crazy. Yeah. And we appreciate it, you know. And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you good, brother. I was just saying, like in the beginning, and they'll testify. I was like, I love this guy's ability in the ring. I said, but gotta get better on the mic. But man,
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
but I told him, I told him a couple months ago, I'm like, his mic work has improved tremendously.
So much.
He has been so good from
Yeah.
I guess about January on, and when I really started to notice, and I'm like, hey guys, I gotta take back what I said.
Let me tell you something.
What I said, this man is killing the game. He's killing it.
Yeah, man, he's
killing
killing
it.
it.
Especially look, and we talked about it on our show before. Look, that promo he cut with Trick and Over.
Trick Williams.
Oh
yeah.
Oh no, I don't think there's nothing better than this right now, man. He sounded so natural, so authentic, and man, I was like, man, he killed it. I didn't think nobody really could have topped him on that. And everything, I loved what he did, man. He really showed like the culture, everything that he said, and I think that's what really like captivated me every time when I would hear him, man. So kudos, and we know that's probably something you showed him, OG. I mean, honestly, I wasn't surprised.
It's like tell him this, son. Tell him this.
Yeah.
Like, let me just write this down for you, real quick. Go ahead.
It's been a very important thing to see, man. Like the representation of just black wrestlers, because it's sometimes we hear a lot about black wrestlers don't get pushed, they don't get this, they don't get that. But what we've seen on NXT and what Shawn Michaels and the crew have done down there, and what seeing the black wrestlers come to the forefront, especially when they had their triple threat match and knowing what they were going to put on, what a show they were going to put on, and they delivered. So that was for the culture, for sure. I was like, this is a really important thing to see, and I'm glad to see that your son is a part of that, man. He has done an amazing job.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. And to see him go against Obafemi, the ruler. Hey.
Let me tell you something about that real quick.
Okay.
Hey, share. Hey.
Just real quick. So father-son relationship is always like, no matter how old you get, or how big you get, or how strong you get, as your father, I will always be able to whoop your ass if I need to.
Yeah. That's what my daddy and mama told me.
When I watched my son pick up
Obafemi.
I watched my son pick up Obafemi and slam him. I kind of had to rethink that.
I don't want that heat.
I had to rethink that a little bit. I was like, all right, I might have to shoot him.
Worst case scenario, I can't do it.
He grabbed me. I don't know. We might be. I watched my boy pick up Obafemi and slam him.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, he getting too strong. That don't make no sense.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely been. You can tell he's definitely been like really.
He's staying in the gym.
Yeah,
my son's staying. Every time I call him, what you doing? I'm about to go to the gym.
Yeah,
he either about to go to the gym, or leaving the gym, or going to practice, or leaving practice. Every time I talk to my son,
that's a good thing.
So that just brought up another question, real quick.
Yeah,
like who in NXT, like. When he says like I'm going to the gym, like does he have a specific person in NXT that he likes to train with? Is it like an Oba? Is it a Trick, or is it like by himself?
That's a good question. I don't know. Anytime if I hit him up and he's in the gym, he always seems to be in there by himself.
Okay.
He just being there by himself, beasting out.
Okay.
That's what's up.
That's cool.
Well, Big Rob, again, thank you so much for joining on with us, man. We had a blast. We had a blast having you on there.
I enjoyed this. I sincerely enjoyed this with y'all. This was awesome.
Man. Hey, we love to have you back on whenever you want, man. Let us know. You can come on. You always welcome on the nights, man. You always here, man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
And one more time, real quick. Like I know you give some of your social medias again, so just people that can follow.
Okay, yeah. On IG, Big Rob the photographer. It's pretty simple. I have like 3 IG pages. So Big Rob the photographer, that's my personal page. Official Robert Antonio, that's my photography page. And the page for my new show that I've been working on, the photo booth, is pretty much thephotoBooth.tv. That's on IG. TikTok.
Photo booth. Dot.
Yeah, TikTok, same thing. Big Rob the photographer. And TikTok is my show, the.photobooth.tv. Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, thank you again, Big Rob. Well,
Yeah.
I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. We had the legacy maker himself, Mr. Xclusive, the heartbreak prince himself, and of course, the OG to the young OG. Okay, but just make sure y'all follow us on all of our social medias: Facebook,
Yes,
we on that; Instagram, we on that; TikTok, we on that as well.
We on that.
And on X, we on everything, baby. Look,
Hey,
we
put that on
appreciate
everything.
all
Put
the
that on
love
everything.
y'all, yeah, put it on everything. Okay. We appreciate all the love and support y'all been giving us. Again, hey, OG,
Thank you.
Yes,
thank
sir.
you again, man. This
Thank
was big
you,
for
Man,
us.
yes,
This
sir.
was
Make the
big,
first
man.
episode a special one.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
I will never forget
Thank-
this. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I
That's right,
appreciate it as
man.
well. Thank you
Hey,
for supporting my son, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, of course,
no
of course,
problem.
man. Look,
Yeah.
he's
Thank you for sharing them with
he's
us.
great representation. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
for real. So, as always, I'm gonna close this all out. Because we are the Exclusive Knights. We always ensure that we are the best there is,
Best there is,
the
the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
And to ensure that your nights will never
Never
be the same.
be the
Be the
same.
same. Peace. You know what time it is? It's time to get bouncy.
Bouncy.
Bouncy.